again and again. Credit the Japanese woman for the defense, though. So far away from the table.
And she almost edged that lob at the end.
Seeing already here, Martin, in those first 6 points, Wang leading at the first towel break is, see that Ito trying to take the attack as she always does, but as you said, Wang just does everything so well, so durable and so difficult to hit through.
She's so solid, just solid. One element that the Chinese and Japanese women do seem to share, Guy, is the deliberate nature with which they prepare for the serve. Very consistent, but oftentimes somewhat long.
It's as tight as their previous meeting. Ito won that over the full 7 games. That was at the old ITTF finals. Now, of course, the WTT Cup finals, which are happening in Singapore. Straight off the back of these World Table Tennis Championships. Ito won there in Zhengzhou, end of 2020, over the full 7.
5-6.
Early stages of this shaping up to be more of the same. Very little to choose between them.
Yeah, they met before that in the finals of the Hong Kong Open, and it was Wang who was dominant in that one, a 4-0 run on Ito. So, but the overall record relatively even. It's 3-2 favoring Wang, but they're a little bit of everything, I would say, between these two.
So leveling up out of the second towel break of this opening game. Strawberry receive attempted there. Didn't get it right though, just fed Wang's third ball attack.
You're right, Guy. I don't think that had enough spin on it right there. Just popped up, and against a player of this caliber, that's getting buried every time.
The thing about Ito is that she'll keep trying the variations, and you go back even with her service, we focus on it so much. Remember in the World Table Tennis Middle East Hub about all the fact she's made such a fundamental change with her service with the Olympic Games in mind. She's never afraid to try different things. And then of course you've got the base, that commitment to attack when she's given the opportunity on top of all that.
You know, we look at these table tennis players and we forget they're just 21. She's just 21 years of age. I mean, she's got a long career in front of her here. And why wouldn't you be trying different things? Why wouldn't you be developing as a player? Of course, Mima has so many unique mannerisms. We got a good look of her preparation for receive, which is very consistent and very unique, the way she shakes her body out. And it certainly adds to the aura around her, but I believe there's a defined purpose for what she does on these receives.
Standards here. Dropping off from the touch there. It's so dependable when she gets into the mid-length rally. They're giving Ito here a couple of game points.
No fear there from Wang on that. Took the big swing. Paid off. You get around game point, the Chinese team, whether it's men or women, they come alive.
Two clear point winning margin needed, of course, always from this stage, the serve alternating as we reach an outcome. How fortunate was that? You could say that one earns it with a commitment to attack. Just the pace of the ball taking it over.
You figure she's going to bury that, and to have it go off the net and land, I mean, is not the result you're expecting. Yeah, it is the result you're expecting, but not the way you expected it.
Service, and Wang reeling off 4 points in a row there from double game point down. The Chinese woman takes the opener off Ito here, 12 points to 10. So game to the good. Wang Yidi mentioned the head-to-head between the two. It's very tight. And just another point, we talked about it a bit already, Mark, here, is just Wang 3-2 overall. We mentioned the Hong Kong Open, her one international level tour title. She won 4-0, but you look at the other matches, Ito in the finals recently, most recently, end of 2020, 4-3. But the other ones, Wang 4-3, Wang 4-2, Ito 4-3, suggests here, if anything previous, anything to go by, we've got a long way to go in this one.
Well, you look at it, it shows how early Mima actually made her appearance on the stage at age 13. She's just 21, 304 career matches. Wang Yidi, 24, 97 career matches. 3 times more matches for Ito than Wang, and Wang is 3 years older. So it goes to show you how long Mima's been around, and she made a big splash when she first came on the international scene. So despite the fact that she's 21 years of age, she is somewhat of a veteran player. She's got that type of experience, but it's the best of both worlds because she still is so young. She still has the possibility of evolving and getting better. Very confident backhand off the paddle of Wang Yidi. And equally confident from Mima in response. A little bit more flick on that one.
Left, 2-1.
He's had varying degrees of success with the particular receive. Ito so far, but pays off that time. Great reach there from Ito, right out to end of range.
And it gave her that angle of attack on the ball as well. Look how far this thing is turning out on the forehand side. Makes it very difficult for Wang Yidi to get there, but a really nice footwork from Wang Yidi to get in a position to even make contact. You know, these matches between the Japanese women and the Chinese women often feel like marathons. Very, almost like a World Series baseball game where the two pitchers are kind of each going through their routines, very slow, very deliberate. Every play is so important.
A little bit of a smile breaking out there from
we saw that from Chun Mung and Ishikawa last night, or Hirano last night, excuse me, where it was a long match, a long marathon that the two of them just trying to work their way through it. I think that's what we've got going here as well, Guy.
Some cheap points off the service here, Ito, in the second.
That might have been an example of that, what Adam Barbara refers to as the strawberry flip right there from Ito. She's got so many different types of returns, creating different spins, both side and under. Difficult ball to handle.
Again, she's just got so many options. This is the thing. I think for Ito, sometimes it's just a question of which option to select. Sometimes can get a bit stuck. Yeah, trying to go back to type, really. When you think when she was beating, so much younger, she's only 21 still at the moment, but you know what I mean. As a teenager beating the very, very best, the top Chinese players, announcing herself on the scene, it was that flat ball striking that surprised them. She's added so much more to her game since then. One more than equal to that receive. Done a good job here, yeah. She's come back, and that's the reason for the timeout here, because Ito was ahead by 4.
3 straight.
Yeah. It's back now to just a 1-point advantage here for the Japanese. Timeout here, opportunities not just for Ito, but for Wang Yidi to speak to Cho Ika. So a 2-time World Championship mixed doubles bronze medalist, 05 and 07 Worlds. For Ito, her personal coach, Fushuki Matsuzaki.
What people have said to me, everybody wants to know what's in that notebook right there. If you can get a copy of that, you might have the golden ticket to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. But with Mima, I think it's hard to ignore the fact that she's not a tall young lady. She's 4'11" from what in American standards, you know, feet and inches, which is under 5 feet. But she's so powerful, so compact. You talk about that flat backhand, how much power it is on it. Just a tremendous athlete. It goes to show you that athletes come in different packages. You don't need to be 6'4", 225 to be a great athlete. And I think Mima Ito is the perfect example of that.
Wang with her defensive quality. Get that back. The angle that Ito found was so good again.
Guy, Mima's got to close this one out. You cannot let Wang back into this game.
Good point you made, because she was 10-8 up in the opener and lost it. No mistake this time. No mistake this time from Ito. We're expecting a drawn-out affair. With their previous head-to-heads, anything to go by in the first couple of games of this one. Backing that suggestion up. Ito levels up in this quarterfinal. One game apiece now with Wang here in Houston.
We get an opportunity here to look at some of the variations of Mima Ito's serve. First of all, the preparation, absolutely unique. Something you don't see, I haven't seen it from any other player. It is almost like a form of Japanese art in and of itself, the way she prepares for those serves. And the variation that she's able to put on the ball, the spins that she's putting on the ball, so different. Side spin, underspin. If you're playing against Mima Ito, you know you're going to have to deal with a unique variety of serves, and your vision, your thought process playing this young lady has to be completely sharp. And I would imagine that the Chinese team has so much video, so much tape. They have reviewed Mima again and again and again to try to figure out, are there any tells? Are there any ways to determine what she's going to do? And if anybody can figure it out, I would imagine the Chinese national team would be the group that could do it. We start game 3, 1-1. Just what you would expect from these two young ladies. Dead even thus far. Nice return that time from Wang Yidi, reaching out over the right side of the table and bringing the ball back into play with some pace. She's got an early lead here in game 3. You don't want to let it get away. Great shot by Wang. Deep to the forehand side. Mima was not quick enough to get over. Step around forehand on the return by Ito there. Drove it right back into the body of Wang Yidi and gets on the board. Very important not to let a game just get away from you. Ito back to the serve. Fast and hard on that particular serve. We showed you some variations. That's something we haven't seen much out of Mima Ito yet. Fast, hard serve, and it paid off there. Now within 3. Went right back to it, but doesn't get the same result.
Can't take your eyes off this at the moment. Straight through again. I think looking to go for a strawberry receive though sometime. Didn't come through as Ito was expecting here. Just held up off the table. service points for Wang to extend the lead to 6.
Let 2-9.
Relatively straightforward ride this, game 3 for Wang. 8 game points. Wow. That's out of keeping with what we normally see from these two. One-sided third game that in favor of Wang Yidi.
I felt like once that game started going south for Mima, we talked about this earlier on, is that she is a player that has a tendency at times to go into these, if you want to call it a funk, call it whatever you want. It's kind of a negative streak. And I thought that she started rushing when she fell behind 3-4-0 in that, what would be third game. Started rushing a bit, and things went south pretty quick. So we get an opportunity to look at the past winners here, Guy, of the women's singles.
Chinese flavour to it for sure there. Liu Shiwen, of course, not able to defend this time. Ding Ning, the Queen of Hearts, won everything. Zhang Yining as well. It was funny, interesting hearing from Chen Xingtong about that. But her idol, really, she wants to kind of be like, take qualities from the great Zhang as well there. Guo Yue there, as well as Wang Nan. It'll be interesting to see. You wouldn't bet against one of the Chinese players adding their name to the honor roll here. New winner, of course, guaranteed, who we've got left in the draw.
And you see Liu Xuan there, and of course she was a member of that mixed doubles team in Tokyo, where Mima and her partner were able to come and win the gold medal against them. I think one of the greatest table tennis matches I've ever seen, the gold medal mixed doubles match in Tokyo this past August.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be there for it. Winning with Jun Mizutani, of course, the gold medal. Ito with the win over Xu Xin and Liu Shiwen. So, sure, the word from her coach, Matsuzaki, here would have been just draw a line under that now. Start again.
It's interesting. I was talking with the co-commentator earlier in the day, Barbara Way. She said you have to have selective amnesia, and that's a good way of putting it. When bad things happen, you got to be able to cut it off and forget about it.
Mark here, Zita need to do. I mean, she's got so many options. She's got to do a little bit differently here, because this is a bit of an alarming run of points now against her. The second game, 11-2 here, 3-1. You just add the numbers together there, and that's 14 now. Last 17, make that 15 of the last 18 points now for one.
I think, you know, it's like the game I come from in hockey, you know, there's another team on the ice, you know, and right now, I believe that Wang is just simply playing better. She's not making any mistakes, and Mima has to figure out a way to start getting her to make mistakes, which I think, from what I have observed, is putting different and more spin on the ball. You cannot give Wang balls that she can actually make something happen off of. You're going to have to challenge her with spinning the ball. She handled that long, fast serve very well that time.
So now on a little run. Timeout here coming from the Chinese bench. Ito, of course, used hers in the second game. Now, Wang and Coach Cho here deciding to use theirs.
I like that decision. You know, you're in control. You're 11-2 in game 3. You're kind of rolling down the track here in game 4. Everything's positive. Mima starts to get a little bit of momentum, a couple of good shots here. Try to cut that off quickly, because I don't want to be a broken record. Mima's a little bit streaky, and streaks go in both directions from my experience. They can go bad, they can go good, and right now it's going good for her. So to try to slow that down, I think this is an excellent decision on behalf of the Chinese squad.
Yeah, they do take care of every individual detail and keeping those timeouts when they need it most. This is just the time here where Ito is threatening a recovery. Keen to nip that in the bud here.
Great crowd tonight here. The George R. Brown Convention Center. We are in Houston, Texas for the World Championships. It's in America, for crying out loud. And they've been treated to such a variety of table tennis tonight, from the match we saw earlier to this one. A complete contrast.
Groans around.
That timeout worked.
Gave Ito a long time to think about that. It's every bit of help.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, guys. She needs that type of bounce right now.
It was interesting, actually. I remember hearing what Ito had to say after the previous round, the win over Sawetaba, which didn't go the full distance, but it could have done easily. I mean, there were a couple of 12-10s in there, 4-2 overall. Another grueling match off the back of the win over a compatriot Shibata in the round of 32, which did go all the way. And she didn't comment so much on when into like a mid-length exchange like that, but actually just saying, you know, I need more from a serve and receive. And that, Mark, is something I've seen here in this particular match. You know, commented on the service, but actually on a receive, she's been struggling for rhythm a little bit on a receive again here. It's allowing Wang to feel more confident. Service points. Go again. I mean, the receive isn't quite working out. She's persisting, because as you said earlier, one of the great qualities is she's stubborn. But Wang there, just easily across, able to shuffle across and ping that away. It's those areas, those key elements, the serve and receive of Ito, still looking for her very best form.
Good example of it there, just a little bit off. That's all it takes. Now facing 4 game points against.
She got through the previous couple of rounds with those issues. I don't feel it's going to be anywhere near enough here against Wang. 4 game points for the Chinese. Ball not nearly good enough, and Ito looked utterly disconsolate at that. She knows she's got a long way back into this now with Wang Yidi opening up a 3 games to 1 advantage in this quarterfinal. 11-7 for Wang there. Now just needs the 1 more game to book a spot in the semi-final. Talks a lot about Ito's struggles on serve and receive. On the other hand, though, of course, Wang Yidi, you said right at the outset, Mark, about her qualities, that she just basically does everything, all the key aspects of the sport, she does them well. And that's what we've seen here tonight. She's
very even, is what I would say.
Balanced, yeah.
I know that her level is very high, but I don't see peaks and valleys out of this young lady. What I see is a real solid competitor. I can see why she's an outstanding player, why the Chinese national team has her in a lead role, because it's somebody who you know what you're going to get out of. Not only is she high quality, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of big, maybe not big super highs, but you're not going to see any big super lows either. And that's the challenge I think that Mima's looking at right now. I don't see her opponent in this match collapsing. You're going to have to make it happen. It's not going to come from errors of the opponent here. You're the person that's going to have to make it happen.
And you do feel the serve and the receive. She's got to find more quality, Ito. She's going to come back into this. There we go, straight on the front foot. Off the receive here, Ito.
I like the bounce in her step right there. I'd get back to that, being more aggressive, more active. Like the thought that time, trying to work both sides of the table. Fortunately, just clipped the cord and it went out and wide. Very important point there, Guy. The fact that she was able to even things back up after taking that 2-0 lead, and then kind of a run by Wang and just shut it down.
Let 3-0.
Got to talk a lot about Wang Yidi. High line achievement here, but at the same time, of course, doesn't want to be thinking ahead to any possibilities here. The semi-final. We talked a lot about this week, about this next crop of Chinese players looking to make their claim to be regularly in the team going forward, because there's opportunities there. Ding Ling's retirement. Not sure about Liu Shiwen going forward as well. There are possibilities, as we're seeing here this week.
I think that's the outstanding element of the Chinese national team. The pipeline is so deep. As a matter of fact, it seems like they send their players end up going around the world to find places to play because the pipeline is so deep. To make it to the top of the national team for the Chinese, whether it's the men or the women's side, you have had to go through so much. Your training, your effort, the ability to kind of withstand all of the pressures that goes through. They really do create tremendous athletes.
Typical for me, so. Rapid.
That type of power is what Mima Ito has got to get towards if she's going to be able to mount a comeback here.
She's dismissed that, and this has been a thing right here for me, the Mima Ito service. I feel like this year, commentating the events, the World Table Tennis events in the Middle East, everything, players have struggled with the creative spark of Mima Ito. This particular match, though, talk about serve receive, she's really struggled to win points off serve.
Guy, part of that, people figure you out. You know, over time, when you innovate, you know, when you first introduce it, people are confused. They don't know what to do. As time goes on, I hate to say it, in the modern era, there's a lot of tape, a lot of talk, a lot of analysis, a lot of ways to break it down. You've got to keep innovating if you want to stay at the top of your game. I think that's in every sport.
Out of the backhand corner one. That's why Ito's had to work so hard to win that. A number of those strikes were too good for most players, and Wang able to counter with interest. It's another sign of how hard Ito is having to work to win points here.
Let 7-0.
Again, the faster, deeper set doesn't quite get it deep enough. Ito there. Once again, just would have liked it maybe a little bit, even a bit deeper than that. So it ends up feeding the receive. That's the danger, isn't it, with the deeper serve? Faster, deeper serve, quite right. Oh, that's a chance. Popped up for once from one.
Obviously, Mima Ito is in a difficult spot right here. This is where you learn about who you are in this particular moment.
Such high hopes coming into the week, Ito, after a pretty successful summer at home, the home Olympics with the gold you mentioned, Mark, and of course the team medal as well, the team event medal. I think since the draw was made, we're all here for the draw, looking ahead to the possibility of Mimarito going up against Sun Ying Shah again, as they did in Tokyo, but it may well not happen here because another Chinese woman is having a big say.
And I think the Chinese fans are here at the George R. Brown Convention Center are trying to exhort Wang Yidi to take control right now.
She's almost there. 2 match points. What's a point? On the brink, Mimarito, and saving some of her very best for that moment.
That's 2 great champions fighting back and forth right there. That's like a toe-to-toe prize fight.
Second match point. Wonderful Wang Yidi into the semi-finals, and she's pumped up about it. As well she might be. She's knocked out the 3rd seed, Mimarito. Huge disappointment for the Japanese. It's the Chinese woman here into the Final 4 in Houston. Wonderful performance from Wang.
She's sending a notice to the world, Guy. She is at that type of form, and she was clearly the better player tonight in this particular match. You know, you're playing the world's #3 player who's been touted as the threat to the Chinese dominance, and Wang Yidi was able to take care of that particular match. I thought she was the better player.
Yeah, reflected in the scoreline, not as close as some of their other encounters in the end. Wang Yidi 4-1 and into the semi-finals, and so delighted.